role of young policymakers helps improve democracy and the American nation. But first, let's talk about how the role of young policymakers increases representation in America. Often, because the Congress and other policymakers are either 50 years old or above, people who are in younger generations and policymakers come in. We found that younger generations were pro-choice, pro-life. But Roe v. Wade was overturned anyway. Representation from young, and because young policymakers are more connected to younger audiences, understand the needs and the wants of these people, thus increasing which is the efficiency of legislation in our nation. Currently, Congress is often comes to making legislation and also passing it, with the increase in our nation. But lastly, the lawmakers is most connection to those of those in the age range 18 to 30. This is fairly important because voting is habitual. This means if you vote once, you will continue to keep voting throughout your life. When young policymakers connect to those of younger audiences, people will start voting at a younger age. And when they start voting at a younger age, they go on to vote again and again and again. And this improves democracy because of the getting greater representation when it comes to our balance, which is inherently important when we want to serve the needs of the people, and it makes it inherently because it makes people of a represent. These are the three roles of young, and what makes it key that we need more young people in our Congress policy today. Thank you.
Next up for Senior Public Extemp is chest number 129. Again, chest number 129.
Topic, let's talk about perspective here. Perspective is a very important when it comes to this topic because perspective deals with how people different opinions in a city for their entire lives compared to somebody who's lived in a rural area. They have different perspectives on different subjects, and it's into my subject because you see how Congress right now, like a lot of us are like very like, and America as a whole is not very old. You see how Congress, even though they're making laws about America, and really perspective that which America has a lot of young people, and they've never used TikTok their entire life. Like, have a more connected America and a less like.
Is Senior Public Speaker chest number 130. Chest number 130.
So I'm Rishi, and my topic is the role of young policymakers in decision making. Before we start, any like children here that have been involved in any decision making process, youth, since they're like younger, they're like long-term contributors to the cause, and they will be in the position for longer, so that increases consistency and longevity. The reason why young policymakers should be involved in decisions because it builds confidence and helps them be better prepared for taking leadership in the future, which can help them to get better jobs. Or I didn't really make a lot of decision making, so more and more, and I feel like it helped me as it confidence involved in decision making processes. The reason we could really talk about is because of generation. Like older people making those decisions would not know the processes of the minds of people. I feel like youth would better know what the younger people would like. So that's a very key process because they can contribute and help her understand the needs of younger people. Thank you.
So that was the end of our morning session. We are taking 5-minute break, start our prize distribution for the morning events. So stay tuned, don't go away, the team here. Thank you. Thank you, judges.